ChatGPT. It's the AI that captured the world's imagination. In 2 months, the product reached over 100 million users and is now being used by companies like Snapchat, Instacart, Shopify, and more to power conversational AI experiences. In the last video, we covered the hottest job in AI, the prompt engineer, and saw how these sorcerers of word magic are able to get large language models like ChatGPT to do incredible things. Today, we go one layer deeper and ask the question, what actually is ChatGPT? In this video, we'll do a whirlwind tour of language modeling, see how ChatGPT came to be, and do a deep dive into its inner workings. Welcome to Chaos Theory, a space where we find the signal and the noise of AI, tech, and life. I'm Alex, your resident chaos coordinator. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. And leave a comment below for what topics you'd like to see covered next. Now, let's begin. Before diving into the powerful language model that is ChatGPT, we first have to ask the question, what actually is a language model in the first place? A language model is a probability distribution over a sequence of words, which is just a fancy way of saying how likely a word is going to appear in a piece of text. So just as how a dog is more likely to go woof, it is also more likely to go bark, compared to all the other words in the English language. The same goes for a cat and it going meow. And how are these probabilities determined? It's all about the data. Large language models are trained on an extensive corpus of text data of how people actually write and the words that they choose to use. Think all of Wikipedia, all of Reddit, and all the news articles, blogs, and BuzzFeed quizzes that have been archived on the public web. After burning through thousands of GPU compute hours on some of the most advanced supercomputers in the world, these models gain almost wizard-like powers in their ability to generate new pieces of text. Packaged together in a simple chat interface, you get an almost magical product that feels like you are truly talking with an artificial intelligence. Of course, to get to this point, it took many years and countless hours of experimentation and research from several of the brightest minds in AI. So how did we get here? In the past, language models needed labeled data for task-specific problems. If you wanted to build an English to French translator, you would have to bring input and output pairs of the two languages. If you wanted to build a spam classifier, you had to have examples of both spam and not spam pieces of text. Each of these models needed their own data sets that were manually crafted and potentially very expensive to curate. However, intuitively, we know that this isn't exactly how people learn new tasks. With very few or zero examples, people can pick up on a concept and know exactly how to apply that knowledge to new settings. We call these paradigms few-shot and zero-shot learning, and they are key intuitions that lie at the heart of language models. ChatGPT stands on the shoulders of giants and builds on top of fundamental research in the language modeling and language understanding space. Two of the seminal papers that birthed the current moment were the Attention is All You Need and BERT papers. Effectively, these papers introduced two main concepts, the self-attention mechanism and the transformer architecture, as key building blocks for future language models to come. That's why, if you survey modern papers in state-of-the-art natural language processing, you'll see some variation or inclusion of these fundamental ideas ever present. So what's novel about GPT? GPT is short for Generative Pre-trained Transformer and was first released by OpenAI in June 2018. The original GPT-1 model was unique because it was a completely self-supervised model that was not trained on any particular task, but was given the objective of simply predicting the next word or token in a sentence given only raw text data. And what's a token? Depending on the implementation, a token is about 4 characters of English text, such that 100 tokens is about 75 words. OpenAI provides a free tool that you can use to count the number of tokens based on the text you paste in. I definitely check it out. Link in the description below. But could a model that only predicts the next piece of text really be that powerful? Well, it turns out that by training on enough data and increasing the number of parameters of the model, it actually is. From GPT-1 to GPT-3, we've seen OpenAI train on even more data, like the Common Crawl of the internet, to all of Wikipedia, with even bigger variants of the original GPT model. GPT-2 topped out at 1.5 billion parameters. GPT-3 100x that to 175 billion parameters. And we've seen similar sorts of models from companies like Google, NVIDIA, Amazon, and Microsoft that all make the claim that bigger truly is better. It's what's fueled the current arms race in AI, with no end in sight. However, despite how powerful these models are on their own, they do come with some unintended consequences. While these models are able to perform natural language tasks to an impressive degree, they also can generate outputs that are untruthful, toxic, or even harmful. This is the alignment problem. In large language models like GPT, the alignment problem often manifests itself as 1. Models being unhelpful by not following the user's explicit instructions. 2. Models being uninterpretable by being difficult or impossible to understand how a particular decision was made. 3. Models being biased or creating toxic output. 4. Models hallucinating by making up non-existent or fake facts. Knowing these challenges, OpenAI created a variant of GPT-3 called InstructGPT that would aim to be a language model more tuned to following instructions. To build such a model, they make use of an existing technique called reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF. These are the 3 main steps to this methodology. 1. A supervised fine-tuning step. This takes a pre-trained language model and fine-tunes it on a relatively small amount of demonstration data created by human labelers in order to learn a supervised policy that can generate outputs from a select list of prompts. This is called the baseline SFT model. 2. Mimic human preferences step. Labelers are then asked to vote on a large number of the SFT model's outputs. This creates a new data set of comparison data. A separate model is then trained on this data set. This is called the reward model, proximal policy optimization, or PPO. Using the reward model, further fine-tune and improve the SFT model. This becomes known as the policy model. Repeat the second and third steps for as many times as you want to ultimately create a new model. For a more technical dive into this training process, you can find the link to the research paper in the description below. So using similar principles from InstructGPT, OpenAI created ChatGPT with a goal to be better at answering follow-up questions, admitting its mistakes, challenging incorrect premises, and rejecting inappropriate requests. The only real difference was in the data collection step. This time around, they had human AI trainers create labeled data where they played both the user and assistant. Trainers were given access to suggestions written by the model to help them write their responses. This dataset was combined with the InstructGPT dataset and reformatted to a dialogue format. Put it all together, ChatGPT was launched in late 2022 as a research preview, featuring data going up until 2021 and based off the GPT 3.5 model series. ChatGPT's future. Little did OpenAI know that they would open the floodgates for worldwide interest and adoption. The demand was so high that OpenAI soon launched a premium version of their product called ChatGPT Plus for $20 per month. They also released the ChatGPT API, allowing developers to build their own chatbots and conversational AI experiences using OpenAI's hosted model. The API offers several variants and is marketed as 10x cheaper and faster than its predecessor, GPT 3.5. Several companies have already started incorporating it into their products, with certainly more on the way. The question now is, what are you going to build with it? Hey, thanks for watching till the end. It means a lot to me. If you like this, please subscribe and leave a comment for what you'd like to see next. Until next time, to embracing the chaos together.